What's up, guys and gals and everybody that's watching? This is Metroid Freak 21, and today I thought I'd show you my current limited run games Switch physical game collection. This is a collection of 25 games that I've amassed over the years from pre-orders, finding in stores used, different websites like VGP, Video Games Plus, and just a nice group of people on Twitter. This is not scripted. This is just me doing what I love, which is showing games. I'm not going to go too deep into this one like I did with my first party Switch video. I'm just going to show you my games. First up, we have Blood Rain 2 Revamped. This is a remake or HD version of Blood Rain 2, if it wasn't obvious. And this one I haven't played yet. I haven't played any of the Blood Rain games, and I'm hoping to fix that. Next up, we have the original Blood Rain Revamped. This one is a little bit more dated from what I've heard, but it's still a really good third-person action game. It's nice to have these on cartridge. I was originally trying to get both of these games on PlayStation 5, but I haven't been able to find any PlayStation 5 discs. But then when I went to my used game store and I found both of them just sitting there for the taking, I was like, you know what, I'll get them for Switch. Power Slave Exhumed. This is not what I thought it was. I thought this was more of a retro-style FPS, and in that regard it is, but it's more of a Metroidvania than I thought. Because there are progression stoppers, you have to have certain abilities to go through certain things, and I honestly didn't expect it with this game. I'm looking forward to trying it more. I love the visual art style. It's just that caught me off guard, and that kind of made me push away the game for just right now. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the Game Complete Edition. This was definitely one of the more popular games in its heyday, and the amount of people that were asking for re-releases was unreal. And I'm glad that Ubisoft and Universal came together with limited run games to make a physical version, which is a complete edition. It has all the levels, and it has additional content. I've had this since it came out, and I actually haven't played this yet. I'm looking forward to playing it. I've heard great things, and I'm really looking forward to checking it out. Radiant Silvergun. This is a game that I found in the store as opposed to pre-ordering, because I missed out on the pre-order window for this game. It's a shoot-'em-up that came out on the Sega Saturn, I believe, in 1997 or 98. From what I've played so far, it's okay. I know that this game is well received, and it's very popular in the shoot 'em up category. I'm not clicking with it. I want to play Ikaruga more, but I kind of missed out on that. I think I haven't been able to find a copy anywhere for affordable prices. But I mean, it's not a bad shoot 'em up. It's just I don't know, something about it just doesn't click with me. I don't like the controls too much, to be honest with you. Ukulele. This is my second copy of this game. I originally sold my first copy, the pre-ordered copy that I got, and with this one, this is the Best Buy cover variant, and I bought this on eBay for I think $60. But Ukulele never got an actual physical version at launch. You had to get it via limited run games, and if I still had my original copy, that would be my first ever purchase from them, actually, believe it or not. Night in the Woods. I didn't pre-order this either. I actually got it from a reprint from Video Games Plus. I bought this because my fiance thought it looked great. She is familiar with this game. She likes this type of game. It's alright so far. I haven't got very far into it, but from what I have played, it's not terrible. I'm looking forward to finishing it. I want to try new games, and it's pretty fun so far. The characters are interesting, I'll give it that. Celeste. This is a well-received 2D pixel art platformer, and I can see why. I've actually missed the pre-order window on this when it first came out. Luckily, Best Buy had copies. That's why I got the Best Buy variant. And this game was really hard to find for a while, and until recently, they never did a retail release. But now Fangamer does a release in stores. Like, you can walk into GameStop and buy the game if you'd like. Which, if you're like a completionist with cartridges, like the Switch cartridge, that has the newest and most up-to-date version. This revision is only 001, while that version is 004. Regardless, I don't think I'm going to make the jump to a complete cartridge for this. I don't see the need for it, as the update is pretty small. But I'm looking forward to starting this. I've heard such great things. I haven't started this yet. I'm hoping that I can really soon. Star Wars Knights, The Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. I don't know if I said that right. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. So no, I did not say it right, but I'm not going to edit that anyway. This is the sequel to Knights of the Old Republic. I know that these games are RPGs, and I know that these games are well received. I haven't played 2 yet. I want to, but I've also seen the backlash that Aspyr got for canceling the DLC that was planned for this. I didn't buy this as a pre-order for that DLC. I found it on VGP for a reprint, and I got it before it went out of stock, because I haven't seen it come back in stock since I got my copy, which is very lucky. Since I got it for retail price, I probably will play it soon. I don't know when. Knights of the Old Republic 1. Just like the second game, I haven't played this one yet. And just like the second game, I didn't pre-order this. I actually got it from VGP. I'm looking forward to playing it. I've heard great things about these games, and so I'm looking forward to playing this. I'm not really big on RPGs. I'm trying to get into them. But from what I've heard, this is one of their more classic style RPGs, and I'm looking forward to it. It's nice to have on a physical cartridge. Star Wars The Force Unleashed. This one was awesome when they announced it. I was so hyped that they announced it, and the fact that it's the Wii version of The Force Unleashed, which is my preferred way to play it, because I've only ever played the Wii version of this game. That was just the icing on the cake. Because it has enhanced motion controls, but for me, I like the button controls. I think it just controls a lot better. And it's really nice to play the Wii version without the bad controls. It also features the multiplayer, which is not online, unfortunately. But the HD-fied version, like the Wii version in HD, actually looks really good. I'm not going to lie. I really wish and hope that Limited Run Games and Aspyr do The Force Unleashed 2, the Wii version. I hope they bring that to Switch, or Switch 2 as well, because I will be there. Dusk. This is kind of like one of those retro-style FPS games, but instead of sprites, they're like low-poly, pixelated 3D character models, and I think the game looks great. I didn't get this via pre-order. I actually found it in the wild, and I'm glad I did, because it contains Dusk and the Dusk 82 expansion all on cartridge, which is really, really nice. This game actually plays really well, and it runs super smooth on the Switch. It's really good. Quake. Quake is synonymous. Synonymous with retro style games, especially shooters, and this Switch port is no exception. This is a really good updated version of Quake. The visuals look great while retaining the aesthetic of the original. It features all the content. It features the expansions. You can even download new expansions, and it has online and local multiplayer for up to 8 players, which is crazy. I definitely got this on PlayStation 5 when it first came out, but once I saw they had a Switch version in the wild, I got rid of my PlayStation 5 version and picked it up on Switch. Partly because Quake 2. I pre-ordered this for Switch instead of PlayStation 5, and I wanted the games on the same platform. But this is more or less just like the original, an enhanced port of Quake 2. It also features Quake 2 64, like the Nintendo 64 version, which is the one that I actually played, because I never played Quake or Quake 2 on PC. So that's a really nice bonus, playing a game that I'm familiar with at a better frame rate, at a better visual quality. It makes a world of difference. And this one is just as good as the original. It plays well, it runs well. This one has only 4-player split screen, I believe. But it's just crazy that these games exist, and I'm really happy that they made physical versions. I definitely like that. Turok 2 Seeds of Evil. These came out on Switch, I want to say in like 2016, 2017, a little bit after. Actually, the Switch wasn't even out in 2016, so this might have been 2017, 2018. But regardless, not a lot of people know about these Switch physical versions, which is kind of shocking. But yeah, they came out a little bit after the digital release, and you can get them in a bundle. But this one and the first game, I got from a generous Twitter follower. He was willing to sell me both of these games for $60 combined, and without them, I wouldn't have these. That's how I got my physical versions. Turok 2 isn't complete on cartridge, but Turok 1 is, which is really cool. But it's really nice to have these modernized with better frame rate, better, cleaner visuals, and you can choose to improve the FOV. While the FOV on Switch isn't as substantial as it is, say, on Xbox, it makes a world of a difference. But these two games are great. Even if you get the downloads, like the digital downloads, play them. They're so much better than the N64 games. I'm still waiting for Turok 3 limited run games. As I hit the tripod, No More Heroes 2 Desperate Struggle, and the original No More Heroes. Once these were announced for Switch, the first thing I wanted was a physical version, because the fact that No More Heroes 3 and the Travis Strikes Again, like top-down hack and slash, got a physical version, I was hoping for that. And then, of course, limited run games never disappoints. I pre-ordered these the moment they went live, and I love these games. These games are great. I beat No More Heroes on Wii back in 2007, whenever it came out, but I haven't played the second one yet. I might, when I do decide to play through the No More Heroes series, I might just play No More Heroes 2 and skip out on the first game, because I've already beaten the first game. I know how the story goes. I know all the people that you fight, what you have to do. So I might just continue where I left off in No More Heroes 2. But the fact that these games are on Switch physically and that they're mostly complete on cart, I think you have to update this to get a missing soundtrack song. But regardless, they're really playable. They're great. They look great in HD, not gonna lie. And the fact that I can play them wherever I want and have the other games in the franchise on the same platform is awesome. Contra Anniversary Collection. This is a collection of many Castlevania or Contra games. You get the original Contra from the arcade. You get Super C. You get Contra for the NES. You get the Japanese versions of those. You get Contra 3, Operation C, Contra Hardcore, and then you get the two European versions, which were Pro Robotector or something like that. But it's a pretty substantial package, and to have a lot of these classic Castlevania games in one collection is awesome. The fact that I can play Castlevania 3 or Contra 3 without having to hook up my Super Nintendo is great. As you can see, these are not being edited, so any mistakes are going to be in the video. The Castlevania Advance Collection and the Castlevania Anniversary Collection. I love Castlevania. Even though I'm terrible at these games, I love these games. I'm more so in the classic ones, but I really like the Metroidvania ones too. This, the Advance Collection is the 3 Game Boy Advance Castlevanias alongside the Super Nintendo version of Dracula X, which is a really nice bonus because that cartridge is really hard to find on the Super Nintendo. They didn't need to add it to this, but they did, and it's great. So you get all 4 of these games on the single cartridge, and they play well. They're really good Metroidvania games, not going to lie about that. But like I said, I'm more classic Castlevania. The only one I've ever beaten was Castlevania 4, but it has a wide variety of games. It has the first 3 NES games, Castlevania 4, Bloodlines, Kid Dracula, which was released in America for the first time. I think it was fully translated too. And the 2 Castlevania games on Game Boy, which Belmont's Revenge is actually really good. I remember pre-ordering this on PS4, but I opted to buy it on Switch once Best Buy got copies. just because I just felt like I would prefer to play it like anywhere I go with the Switch, and yeah, that's how I decided to play it. All right, down to the last few. Alien Isolation: The Collection. This was one of my most requested games. When this game came out in 2018 on the Switch, when Farrell and Sega announced there wasn't going to be a physical version, it was very disappointing. The fact that Limited Run Games made a physical version kind of a little bit after the game came out. Like, this came out in 2023. I don't know why it took so long for a physical version to be made, but I'm just glad it is. And it's complete on cartridge. It has the base game and the 7 DLCs that were part of the season pass, which I think is a great value. And this is by far the best version of the game. It actually has improved rendering techniques that push the visual quality above PS4 and Xbox One in some regards. Doom 64. I'm a big boomer shooter fan. I love these classic style games, and Doom 64 is no exception. I actually have the N64 cartridge of this game, but having it on the Switch is great because you can improve the lighting, you can make the controls better, it flows better. Everything about this release is better, and I'm really glad that they made a physical version. I got this one at Best Buy because when at the time I had it digitally, and I was just like, you know what, I'm not going to miss out on it. But that's when I kind of like started really getting into physical game collecting for Switch. And I was just like, you know what, I'm going to buy it physically before it goes away. Doom, the Classic Collection. This contains Doom 1, 2, and 3 on one game card. This is a great value, and I'm really happy that they decided to release this physically. But the first print of this game was very controversial. Limited Run Games is a company known for making online updates available on the cartridge and trying to provide you with the best possible experience if you've never connected to the internet or if you just want to play the games offline to begin with. But with this game, Doom 1 and 2, I think even Doom 3, when they were released digitally, you had to sign into your Bethesda account. And if you didn't have one, you had to make one every time you wanted to play the game, even offline. Like, the game wouldn't let you play. So when Limited Run Games did their cartridge print of this, it had that online DRM. And it was so bad that they actually made a statement and partnered with Bethesda to reprint the cartridge. And I don't know if you can see that, but I have the reprinted cartridge, the 001 revision. This eliminates the necessity to connect online to play these games. It will still ask you to sign in, but you can actually now bypass the game, like the sign-in, on all these games and play them offline if you've never connected your Switch online. At the time, I did connect my Switch online and I downloaded the update, but I just figured that I'd want the better cartridge variant, especially when the Switch is discontinued and you lose these updates. And that's why I got the cartridge. But they supplied those free of charge. All you had to do was just send in the first revision, and then they sent you the reprinted. That's the only ever reprint that I've ever seen Limited Run Games do. And last but certainly not least, the most requested game I ever have asked for, Doom Eternal. This is my favorite third-party game on Switch. It's just an incredible port. It plays so well. It plays so fluidly. I just don't know how they managed to get the 30 frames per second to be nearly locked. It plays so well. You'd honestly be surprised. But yeah, like I said, this was my most requested physical version that I've ever wanted Limited Run Games to do. And I'm so glad that it happened. It took a long time, though. Pre-order started in, I think, May or July of 2022, and I didn't get my copy until May of 2023. So this was one of the more longer wait physical versions, but let me tell you, it's worth it. This isn't a perfect version of the game, too, because as of right now, I think the game on Switch is version 1.14, and they use the 32 gigabyte cartridge for this game. And the display version on the cartridge is 1.09. So it's not 1.0, which is great. It has additional modes. The campaign has been cleaned up enough to play it, but it's not the more complete version. It doesn't have the horde mode. It doesn't have the bonus modes. It doesn't have the DLC on cartridge either, which is a shame because the DLC key was patched into it at, I think, 1.08 or actually 1.09. So if they had just like 8 megabytes more room, they could have fit the DLC on the cartridge, but I'm assuming Bethesda also made them so they just couldn't do that. Either way, regardless of all those controversies, this is still an impressive physical version, and I'm really happy that this game is preserved on Switch forever. Yeah, it may not be the prettiest version in, say, like a year or two, or even when the game came out in 2020, but the fact that the physical version came out after Bethesda canceled it is great, and I'm really, really happy. This is my favorite limited run game's physical version. But yeah, those are all of my physical Nintendo Switch games from Limited Run Games. I used to have more. I've sold some. I've rebought some, and then I've sold some again. So there's some games I still want. There's some games that I'm still pre-ordering. As long as they're still supporting Switch, I will still buy limited physical versions for Switch. Some examples of games that I want to come to Switch physically. I want the Bulletstorm Duke Edition. I want the 20th Anniversary Duke Nukem Collection. And, yeah, there's many other games that I just can't think about right now. But those are like the two that I really, really want. And I'm hoping they come. But I hope you enjoyed this 20 or so minute video. Let me know what you think about limited run games. I know that they don't have the best reputation, but I support them regardless of all their controversies just because I like buying games. I don't get into that kind of stuff with companies and all that stuff because at the end of the day, I'm just here for games. But anyway, just let me know what you think. Drop your comments down below. What kind of physical games have you bought from Limited Run Games on Switch? I have more from them on PlayStation, but that's going to be a different video. But just let me know what you think. And as always, take care and thanks for watching.